You know, I really want to say that this game against the Dallas Cowboys is a very important game because not only are we playing those motherfuckers, God, I absolutely hate the Cowboys. Everywhere I go, I see a Cowboys fan in Houston. You know, that absolutely despises me. Cowboys fans, they wipe back to front. Those guys are absolutely dirty. We want nothing to do with the Dallas Cowboys here in Houston. Stay over there with the ugly woman. But why I also say this game is important is because the amount of improvement that we saw in one game. Granted, it was a preseason game, so everything we see we have to also take for granted. But it was such a relief to see this team play together as one. You love to see the guys on the sideline look like they were having fun. They were chatting, they were dancing, they were messing around. David Culley was getting involved. David Culley also handled himself well in the game. And it's great to see, some of the players that Nick Casario brought in make plays for the Houston Texans, like linebacker Kruger Hill. A guy who was absolutely, flying, and, running back like Philip Lindsay, who were all excited for drafting Nico Collins. Bringing in a guy who we think can be good, like Tyrod Taylor. I want to see more from him. Because not only did we see one drive, I do expect the Houston Texans to give Tyrod Taylor maybe a couple drives, and because he needs it, right? We want to see how efficient he can be back there, as the starting quarterback for the Houston Texans. Can he build another good drive that he did last week and, really give these Houston Texans fans a little bit of hope that, hey, like I am a serviceable quarterback. We know Tyrod Taylor is a decent quarterback. He's not absolutely garbage. He's not that really good either. He is going to be the QB that can win you some games. He really is. And I want to see him show us what he can be this game, where he's going to get more reps. He's going to be against a team that we hate. Tyrod Taylor, I want to see him build upon what he did in week one and just look like a pretty good quarterback for the Houston Texans. As far as the offensive line, what I want to see is number 67, Charlie Heck. He had a very great game against, I'm sorry, a very good game against the Green Bay Packers last week. Looked like he could be a piece if the Houston Texans needed to put him at right tackle. We know that there are rumblings of the experiment of having him at right tackle and moving Titus Howard to left guard alongside Lermy Tunsil. I spoke about that. I spoke about that potential combination. In last night's video. If he has another good game, I think I think it might be a real possibility that we might see, Titus Howard being as your left guard and seeing, you know, Charlie Heck as your right tackle. Whether fans are gonna like that, I don't know. But one thing I know is that we have to trust James Campman now. This guy's a formidable offensive line coach, miles ahead of what Mike Devlin want to be. He was asking Lermy Tunsil how to coach the offensive line. James Cameron's not going to do that. James Cameron has been, to the playoffs, has had, his offensive line in the Super Bowl and looked damn good. He's had Pro Bowlers. He's had All Pros. He's had guys, who not only has he made better, but they made himself better as a coach. I want to see Charlie Heck grow. I want to see James Campman, implement his style into the offensive line. As far as the running backs go, I do think that number one and two are solidified for the Houston Texans. I do think your workhorse is going to be Philip Lindsay and Mark Ingram. The third running back spot, in my opinion, is still up for grabs. It's gonna be David Johnson against Scotty Phillips. Do the Houston Texans want to have a crowded backfield, have three running backs, so you can keep them fresh, you can keep them healthy, and you can always be dangerous and always have someone ready to run the rock? I do think if you want to keep three running backs, you gotta find the third best one. Is David Johnson the third best running back? I don't know. One thing I do know is that his first opportunity he didn't do good at, third and one. He gets stuff in the backfield. Scotty Fiddle looked damn good last week, 67 yards along with a touchdown. I want to see the battle between them. Are we going to see David Johnson? Are we going to see a lot of David Johnson? Maybe. Can he be a surprise cut? We absolutely don't know. As far as the wide receivers, man, I want to see more of Nico Collins, right? Because we're not going to see him a lot in the regular season. We know Brandon Cooks is going to get you the 1,000 yards. We know Chris Conley looked like he could be a formidable number 2 wide receiver for the Houston Texans. You can't forget about Kiki Kuti. You damn sure cannot forget about Anthony Miller. Nico Collins, we have high hopes from. We've heard a lot of praises about this young rookie. The preseason is where he needs to step up and take that formidable spot and say, hey, I know there's a lot of veterans, but I'm still here and I could contribute to this team. As far as the tight ends, man, it's going to be, this is one of the most competitive groups, I think, out of, for the Houston Texans. You got Pharaoh Brown, who has been called the best tight end in practice by Landry Locker. You still have Jordan Akins, who's been, a good tight end for the Houston Texans for the past couple years. You just drafted Kahale Warring last year, and a couple, 2 years ago, and you want to see what this guy could do. You want to see if the athleticism, can translate into the football field. Because if he gets it going, he's going to be absolutely scary. And then you just drafted Brevin Jordan, who also has had high praises in training camp and had one or two good catches in the game last season. In the game last week. I want to see, these young guys. I want to see Kahale Warren. I want to see, Brevin Jordan probably fight for that third tight end spot. Are they gonna keep 3? Are they gonna keep 4? I absolutely don't know. It's just gonna be a tough battle, down there. And for the defensive side, it's hard to really say what I want to see them improve on because of how dominant, they were last week, aside from that one drive where Jordan Love looked absolutely unstoppable. I want to continue to see the Texans, defensive, the guys flying. They were everywhere. It looked like the guys were having fun. The guys looked absolutely fast. Shout out to Nick Casario for signing linebackers who absolutely have speed, something that we didn't have last year. I want to continue to see the penetration from the defensive line. I want to see Ross Blacklock build upon what he did last week. Jonathan Grenard, can he still be that guy? Hey, don't forget about me. I was drafted last year. I led the SEC in sacks and tackles for loss. Don't forget about me. I also want to see what Jacob Martin could do. Jacob Martin said that he likes being back with his hand in the dirt. We have been waiting for the emergence of Jacob Martin since he got here. Can he be the guy who could get you 10 plus sacks because we didn't really put him in a right position to go after the quarterback? He got the first sack for the Houston Texans last season. I want to see what he can do this season. I just want to see this defense be consistent. Because if your third stringers, your fourth stringers, your fifth stringers can do it, then I have no doubt that your starters could do it. As far as the secondary, it's really hard to say what you want to do better. You want to see Lonnie Johnson continue to, to improve on from what he's been talked about all training camp, how he's been having a great offseason so far. You want to see him continue to be good in the game. This whole Houston Texans defense, aside from the offense where you really have stuff that you want to see get better because they were so dominant, it's really hard to put a finger on what you want to see. So what better than to get another preseason game to look at and see what this Lovie Smith system can bring for the Houston Texans this upcoming season. Let me know what you guys think. As always, go Houston Texans. You guys have a blessed day.